Hello, Carey Hodsden here with Common Sense Golf at the beautiful X-Golf Chesapeake in Chesapeake, Virginia. Some people have made comment already on the fact that the name on my bag changed. That is true. That is true. We happen to be the largest distributor for PXG golf clubs in Southeast Virginia here at X-Golf Chesapeake. And we have a huge military veteran contingent, which PXG Golf supports amazingly. And I happen to be a veteran of the United States Air Force as well. And to all the guys out there that are coming and joining us at X Golf Chesapeake and that are using PXG clubs, thank you so much for your service. And to every other service member out there, thank you so much for your service, especially in the current world climate. A lot of crazy stuff going on. So thanks again, and thanks for watching, you guys. Okay, so today I want to talk really quickly about sequence. This is going to be kind of a short little lesson about the sequence of the downswing. And people have a tough time understanding how the release works. I'm going to get into that really, really in depth coming up very, very soon. A lot of my teaching is centered around kind of the rotational classic golf swing that guys like Ben Hogan and Sam Steed and those kind of guys did. But also a lot of my teaching from a personal standpoint, where I add something to what those cats did is really based in the release and how to release through the golf ball. Almost nobody talks about this, and very, very, very few people understand it. Okay, they don't understand how the release works. Okay. I'll get into that in another lesson, and I will be very, very specific. It might be a battery of lessons that we do for the release. Because once you understand the release and how it works, your life will change. How you hit the golf ball will change dramatically. And I mean, it happens just like that. And you just can't even believe the feeling. Once you learn how it works properly, the golf club, hitting a golf ball feels easy. It feels like nothing. It feels like you can't even hardly feel it. Okay? So you're using this heavy weight on the end of this 3-foot stick to project the golf ball, down the fairway or onto the green or whatever have you. So it's really, really important that you understand how the release works. And to get to the actual release aspect through the golf ball, you have to have the proper sequence. Okay. So I'm going to really, really briefly review how we get the golf club back. And then I'm going to talk about the sequence of going forward. First of all, quick review for you guys. You understand that the slot goes around our waist, okay? We've talked about this before. For me, I've got about 2 fists of distance between my pelvis and the golf club here, okay? So when I address, I've got about 2 fists here, and I need to make sure that when the club comes back down, I get the club, my hands back into that slot area going around my body at the exact same distance or slightly inside the distance, okay, that I started with. I can't stress enough how important this is to get, to have your hands in the slot as you're going through the impact area. If you don't, you will miss-hit the ball. I mean, almost 100% guaranteed you will miss-hit the ball. And for most of us, to get our hands back in the slot when we swing, it's going to feel like your hands are much closer to your body through the impact area than they were at address. Remember that. Your hands will feel closer to your body through the impact area than they do at address. Okay? If you're doing it right. That's a feeling you definitely want to have. Now, how do we get there? That's the question. Okay, so we all know that I like to set up, in a very, very athletic way. Okay, I'm an athlete, and I feel like this is a very, very athletic game. Okay, so the ball is pretty much just inside my left heel with most of my golf clubs. This happens to be an 8-iron right here. Okay, so I'm going to set up, and my hands are pretty much in the middle of my stance. I'm setting up with a square club face here. Okay. And when I take the club back, I am taking the club back with my left shoulder, and I'm pushing the club back. Notice that I'm not doing any of this business or anything like that to start the club back. I'm pushing the club back to a point to where it gets to where I can feel the real weight of the head kind of like hanging in my fingers here. So I push the club back, and from here with my left hand, okay, this is important. This is sequence now. I push it back with my left hand. So I'm pushing kind of the handle back, not the club head. I'm pushing the handle back with my left hand, and then with my left hand, I set the club with my wrist set. Okay, so all this happens with my left hand. Okay, push it back, get into the wrist set. From here is the sequence that I want to talk about. You'll note that I start out 2 fists from my pelvis with the club, the butt end of the club. I push it back, I'm still 2 fists right here, right? Okay, so then it wrist sets, and this is when it moves about 5 fists from my pelvis, okay, with this wrist set. But to be honest with you, I'm closer than most people to the slot. Most people go up. Now they're like 2 feet, 3 feet away, depending on their body style and their height, away from where they started, and they got to figure out how to get that get it back down to that spot. So for me, if I go up like this, my butt end of my club is so far away. I've got to figure out how to get it all the way back down here before I go forward. But the way I swing and the way the classic golf swing is, we push it back here and then get around here. Now all I have to do is rotate into it, and my hands get right back down in the slot immediately, right away. Okay, so that's sequence. No, let me rephrase that. That's making sequence easier, okay, because my hands are already closer to the slot than most people, okay, which is why Hogan was so consistent, because he was just like that. He went back here, and he was so close to the slot already that he just turned, and his hands just dropped right into the slot naturally. Okay, so how do we get that sequence right? All right, let's talk about it really quick. I push it back with my hands here. I wrist set it with my left hand. And from here, I'm going to open my pelvis. I'm going to move a little bit to the left, okay, to recenter my weight. And then I'm going to open my pelvis by opening this knee, opening the left of my lead leg knee to the outside of my left foot. And I'm going to rotate my hips at the same time to open my pelvis, okay? I'm also going to pull from right here at the same time into the golf ball and try to get my hands lower to the way they were at address, okay? Now, this sounds like a lot of stuff. This is why we need to kind of do this step by step. But in this particular case, the most important thing that I want you to pay attention to is the sequence of events, how this goes, okay? So I push back, I wrist set, and on the way up from wrist setting, I reshift my weight to the left and open my pelvis, okay, as I stay behind the golf ball, and then I hit with my right side, releasing almost like you're chopping wood from the side, okay, almost like the club is sliding underneath the golf ball, okay? So push it back, okay, I recenter, and then I rotate, screwing my heels into the ground and sitting. This is why you see Hogan's head drop so much and why you see so many good tour players, their head drops, because when they get up here, they're screwing themselves into the ground and their head drops when that happens. When their head drops, their face gets closer to the golf ball, okay? And that allows them to release right through here and be very, very close to it, okay? Very similar to the guy that putts. He putts up here like this, okay? But then when he gets up to on a 20-foot putt, when he gets up to a 3-foot putt, he gets way down here. He gets closer to the ball because he feels like it's easier to hit the ball that way. Same principle, okay? It's identical principle. Nobody ever talks about it, but it's the truth. The closer you get to it, the easier it is to see it and to move it where you want to move it, okay? All right, so I'm just going to do this one more time, then I'm going to demonstrate it so that you understand the sequence, okay? We start, we're centered, okay? I like to have my knee kicked in, as you guys know, a little bit, okay? We're going to rotate back by pushing the club back and pushing our shoulders back. The wrist set all happens, and the pushback all happens with our left arm. Then our left arm and our left hand just kind of become a guide, okay? Because if I'm right-handed, I want to hit with that right side. Kind of like Hogan said, felt like he had 3 right hands, right? So I push it back here, and then as I start to move, as I start to get to the top, I recenter my weight to the left, okay? Then I open my pelvis and screw myself into the ground, into my heels. I use the ground as leverage, okay? And then from right here, I'm applying the hit with the release with my right hand, okay? And then once that happens, I move off into the finish, okay, by pushing off my right side. Now, that's oversimplifying it a little bit, but that is the sequence. I want you to think about this sequence. I want you to really get it in your head and understand that these things have to happen in this order. If they do, you're going to just be, it's magic. It's absolute magic. You know, the power that you gain from the rotation and pushing into the ground and the rotation and the opening of your pelvis into the hitting area, the power that you gain is unbelievable. The power and the accuracy that you gain from hitting with your right side this way, not this way. We never do this, ever, for any reason, okay? It's from the side, and the release is this way, because we pick the club up this way, we set our wrist this way, we release our wrist this way. It's no different, okay? So I hope that this is helpful. So I'm going to just try to demonstrate it one more time for you, and then we'll see how it feels, okay? So we're pushing it back with our left side and our left arm and wrist setting with our left wrist, okay? And as we do this, we recenter and then we rotate and we hit with our right side, something like this, okay? And then that will create tremendous ball strikes and your accuracy will be unbelievable. Thanks for watching. I'm Carey Hodsden, PGA, with Common Sense Golf at X Golf Chesapeake, and I can't wait to talk to you again. Keep watching, hit them long and straight. A lot more coming soon.